Hi. And, oh, where are we? My backyard. And this is Leilani with Leilani Drinks the Brown Stuff. Thanks for joining us again for another episode. I was just thinking about this episode and how crazy it was. And I have a story to tell. And once the story gets out, you'll realize why we're doing it a little differently tonight. So tonight, I am bringing you San Diego Sunshine Rye whiskey. All right, so let's get into this story. About a couple weeks ago, my beast, who is behind the camera, gets a wedding photography job, and it's on location, and it's Southern California. So we pack up and we start driving, and I'm thinking, Southern California whiskey, I'm gonna be so happy. So of course I dropped the hint as we're driving in the car, like, hey, you know what? There are a couple of Southern Cali distilleries maybe that we could swing by. And he was like, yeah, that one is just not even on the way. There's nothing on the way down here. And I was like, a little heart palpitations. But I was like, you know what? We're going to be in these two small towns, so everything should be okay. We go ahead and hit the wedding location first in Ramona, California, small little town. And this woman who decided to hold the wedding, it's on acres of land and very whimsical and very sweet. They basically built, it's all outdoors, and they have this door frame for the wedding where the wedding procession will come in. And they have a tree swing and all these trails. It's really beautiful. We meet the bride, we meet the groom, we meet all those people, but all I'm thinking about is whiskey. We leave that location, and my boo needs to go ahead and stop to Pamo Valley, Pamo Valley Winery tasting room. And his friend Jennifer from high school is actually the one that owns it. And she has a couple of vineyards a few miles away. We swing by because Mama San had swung by a year or so ago and had gotten a bottle of Sangiovese. No Sangiovese this time. But Jennifer offers me a tasting because she has 3 bottles and I didn't know which one to decide from. So the first one is like a 3-grape blend. I can't remember what that one was, but I didn't quite like it. The second one was a Malbec and Syrah blend, which was nice, and the one I was leaning towards. However, Cabernet was the one I ended up going for because I thought, you know, this is kind of a nice smooth wine that can go with a lot of things for Mama San. So we ended up with a Cabernet. During this time in which I leaned over and was like, Jennifer, by any chance, do you happen to know of any local distilleries or, you know, local whiskey where I can just buy it at a liquor store or something? And in the foreground, I could see my face distort, and he's like, Ugh. And finally he's just like, you ruined everything. I was going to take you there next. And I was like, but we're not there right now, and I didn't know. So I had to ask just to make sure that we are on the same page. And he was like, I didn't want you to get excited. It might not be open because of all the stuff that's happening right now. Why do you have to ruin everything? And I'm just like, I just want some whiskey. So Jennifer's like, well, maybe it's open. And I'm like, crossing fingers. We drive over there and we get in, and there's a couple cars. So I'm slightly hopeful. And we see the door and it's shut. And my man's like, I think it's closed. And I was like, I think we need to go check, because for my heart, my child heart, I need to see all the signs before I'm like resigned to saying no. To appease me, he parked. We jumped out. We checked the door. It is shut. Now my heart's sad, and he knows it. And he's like, see, I told you, this is the reason why. I didn't want you to get all excited. And I was just like, but I just wanted some Southern Cali whiskey. So disappointed. Anyway, he has to get me back to the lodge so we can get something to eat because I get hangry. So we eat right across the street from the lodge, and I'm just like, is there a liquor store? And he's like, yes. One liquor store. It's a 2-block town. One local liquor store. We walk in and I'm like, see the guy, and I'm like, hey, do you happen to have any kind of, local whiskey? And he's like, nope. And I'm like, what? Who owns a small town liquor store and not carry any small town liquor. I did not come there to get the same kind of liquor I could find at the grocery store here. I am there to find the local whiskey or whatever in that surrounding area. So of course I'm sad. And of course everything's shutting down, and of course my beast is like, get some pie. And I'm like, pie whiskey? I don't feel like any pie. And I don't want any ice cream. I don't want none of that. I don't want no chocolate. Wow! I just want my bottle of whiskey. And plus, I like pie a la mode, and it's not going to hold in whatever we got back at the hotel room for a couple hours. Anyway, I'm just super sad at the hotel room. My man knows it. He decides to look through his phone. He's like, hey, you know what? The website said they were open from 2 to 9, but on their Instagram page it says they're open now. And I'm like, send them a message. He's like, I am. Let me do this. Why do you think I told you? I was like, all right, I'm going to stand here and wait. Text them, messages them, and within about, 10, 15 minutes, it was super quick. Whatever it was super, super quick. They ended up getting back to us saying that they were open right then. But by that time, I'm sweaty, I'm nasty, I'm dirty, and I'm just like, oh, do we have to go? But they're also open in the morning from 10 a.m. to noon, just before the wedding. And I'm like, yes, we will be there. And he's like, yes, we will be there. Get up, great breakfast, and head on over to the whiskey distillery bar. Get there. Now, this time, the door's propped open. So, yay. We get out of the car, we get in, and from the outside, it's super bright. It's like 11:15, and the bar is kind of dark, so my eyes adjusting. You can see the distillery lights and a little bit of shadows of what the bar is, and we're just heading down to the end of the bar. That's all we're doing, but still, my eyes are adjusting. And all of a sudden, it's like, you here for whiskey? Oh, no sunshine. All business. I was like, yes. Those are the 4 bottles. I was like, holy crap. Where are the 4 bottles? I can't see. There's 4 bottles on the bar to the right-hand side. There's like a hibiscus rum, a vodka, a moonshine, and hallelujah. You can see the lights coming in and everything surrounding it, and it's the rye whiskey, and I'm grateful. Now, we would have gotten a couple other bottles had there been, because they had like honey wheated, a wheat, a blueberry. I don't know if these were moonshines or if they were whiskey, but I didn't get a chance to chit chat either, because Miss Business over here was like, is that it? It's like, yeah. So as much as I would have loved to have chatted about the distillery, it just didn't happen that day. Grabbed our whiskey bottle, walked outside, and was able to take a very proud picture of me and the whiskey and some sunshine off the San Diego Sunshine sign that was sitting outside on their window. So needless to say, we are drinking their 90 proof single barrel 45% ABV rye whiskey tonight. Now, they make everything here from scratch in their one-of-a-kind stills. They age it in like oak wine barrels. This is batch number 28, bottle number 190, and it is handwritten down here, which is super cool if you could see that. That's always nice, right? Like I said, with it being a mom and pop local operation, as I looked on their website, since I didn't get a chance to chit chat, there's 3 people basically running the joint, and it's a husband and wife team, Paul and Amanda. And they're just there doing the whiskey and all the scratching of the baked goods or whatever they're doing to get that whiskey ready and going. And then there's Amanda's cousin, who I think we ran into, Amber. She basically, I think, runs the bar area and does all that other stuff. 3-person operation, local mom and pop. Gotta love it. So let's just crack this bottle open. Ooh, cute. And look at this cork. It's like all the way through. That's a fun looking, almost like a pirate kind of a thing going on. And I gotta find where this plastic, oh, there it is. All right. And again, a nice little touch, that little label. Oh, Oh, there's no pop. Oh, maybe it's the cork, but I can smell a nice zest already to it, and almost a hint of smoke, which is nice. But the zest is definitely prominent, which is always wonderful. Let's go ahead and get this woman's pour in. Now, this looks a little cloudy to me. It's not as clear as most whiskeys are. Maybe it's because it was sitting in our car for a day, or maybe it's because they make it and it's batched this way and it's super cloudy. I mean, if it's super cloudy and this is the way it's supposed to look, that's super fun. I mean, give me some muddy brown water, please. It almost smells like citronella candles. Like to keep the mosquitoes away. I'll drink it. I'll drink it. Mosquitoes love me. I need everything that will repel them. But before I drink this, I do want to say that on their Instagram and Facebook pages, they made their own hand sanitizers and they were offering it for free. However, I didn't see any on the display. I didn't ask about it. She didn't offer any. And I was just like, okay, well, I guess I don't have any free hand sanitizer, but Jennifer at the Pamo Valley Winery had a few extra from the Sunshine San Diego whiskey distillery. So I got my first whiskey alcohol hand sanitizer from Jennifer. So big ups to Jennifer. Thank you, girl, for hooking a girl up with whiskey disinfectant. I love it. All right, let's get to this. Interesting citronella candle. Zesty. Is that like smells like something burnt. I don't know what it is, but there's a burnt smell to it. All right. That's an interesting taste for a rye. The zest seems to sit on my mouth a little longer, especially on the back end. However, it's light. I feel super smooth. Just nothing, you know, like I don't feel like I want to chew it. It just feels like it's just going to slip down the back of my throat, which it does. Not the spice that I'm used to in a rye. That seems to have floated somewhere else. More of a bourbon kind of feel with a little zestiness to it. I'm not loving the smell, but the taste, it's almost like sunshine. Maybe that is what is in here. I feel like there's a floral, like sunflowers. I really do, guys. This is super fascinating because it's a definite different rye. And it's a rye I think everyone should check out and try in comparison to most ryes. This is pretty fascinating. Like I feel the stuff that I feel that I normally would when I drink a bourbon. So smelling aside, because maybe I'm just not a floral kind of person and that's what's more prominent in this batch. It's smooth, it's nice, it's got a slight little tingle of a burn to it, but nothing overpowering like crazy. But that zest though, I don't know if I love it or kind of not like it yet, but I ain't mad at it. All right, San Diego, I see you. And I love when companies, especially small local companies, decide that, you know, they're going to make their own type of rye. This is the reason why we try these things. And this is the reason why I love local whiskey. They get experimental and just change up things. So I'm going to give San Diego Sunshine Rye 3 kisses. So, if you're ever in the Julian, Ramona area and you need your whiskey fix like I do, make sure you swing by this local mom and pop little shop. And after you pick up yourself some of this local batch interesting rye whiskey, head on over to Jennifer at Pamo Valley Winery Tasting. Grab a bottle and have yourself a real good night, if you know what I'm saying. Everyone has